What's up, my friends? This is Dante with Dante's Boxing Gym. I'm coming to you right now with a new episode of the series, Welcome to Boxing. This is a series that explores and answers a lot of the questions that people have when they first are trying to join the boxing gym and what to expect. Today, I'm going to answer some questions about what are the different type of boxing gloves that are used in the boxing gym. I'm going to start by saying that the first type of boxing glove is called fitness boxing glove. It's also called a training boxing glove, and it's also called a heavy bag boxing glove. They basically look like this. The whole purpose of a training boxing glove or a fitness bag glove is it has a harder outer shell. It has maybe about a 14 to 16 ounce weight for the glove, and oftentimes a fitness or a bag glove is also going to usually be a size. So it's typically when you go online, if you may go to Tidal or Everlast, they may even have some of these gloves that are usually like small, medium, large, and you're not going to really know exactly what glove is going to fit your hand, unfortunately, unless you go to an actual store. But a lot of times, a lot of the stores typically only sell Everlast gloves, so you may not even see a Tidal or a Winning type of glove in those type of stores. So again, training gloves are typically used to protect your hands, especially the outer part of the glove is typically really hard, more so than a sparring glove, which is typically really soft on the outside and bigger than a fitness or training or a heavy bag glove. And so this is what a typical heavy bag training or fitness glove looks like. It just typically has around like a little, thing you can take and put around your wrist for like easy access. Nothing too crazy. It's just basically really light, should be really great to protect your hands, your knuckles, and your wrists. And so that's the first type. The second type of boxing glove you have is a sparring glove. Typically when you get into the ring, you do not use a fitness glove in the ring. Typically, what you should try to aim for is a sparring glove, because sparring gloves are a little bit more rounder. They're larger in sight, so that when you're actually in the ring, you're not necessarily trying to beat up the work, quote unquote, in your gym, but you're trying to make sure that you get the work that you want. Typically, sparring gloves for men or older guys and even women a lot of times are 16-ounce gloves. Sometimes women use 14, or sometimes younger generations use 14-ounce gloves. Sometimes they go to 12, depending on how old the kid is. And typically, again, they're a little bit rounder. They have a softer outer shell, so that, you won't be damaging the person that you're in the ring with. Sometimes sparring gloves, they have either a dual strap around. They are typically very comfortable, and they're very roomy, and they fit your hand like a glove. Like, it's a beautiful experience a lot of times wearing a sparring glove. Now, sparring gloves not only come in the Velcro, they also come in laces. So what happens, you can get a lace type of bag glove or sometimes sparring glove. I don't necessarily recommend people using lace up boxing gloves when they just go into a boxing fitness class, because you got to be able to take the time to be able to ask somebody, hey, can you be able to tie my gloves up? And oftentimes it could be either inconvenience for somebody in the gym, but sometimes people don't even mind asking other people, because it makes them like a little bit of a superstar in the gym for a moment, because it's getting somebody to like do something for them. And they kind of like sometimes can be prima donnas, because it's like, hey, I need you to do this, can you do this for me? They like the feeling of being waited on. Sometimes you see that in the boxing gym. So I wouldn't recommend for people getting a fitness lace-up glove, because you're going to have to ask somebody to put it on for you, lace it up, and you're going to have to ask somebody to take it off for you. And that can be a real interesting inconvenience. Oftentimes too, lace gloves are for professionals before they get into a ring. So if you ever watch professional boxing, oftentimes the fighters will have lace-up gloves and they'll put tape around them. So that's the different type of boxing glove that has lace. And the last one I'm going to introduce to you all today is an amateur boxing glove. A lot of people that are even casual boxing fans don't even know about the amateur system, USA Boxing, that we have, and that's all around the world. So this type of glove is typically either 12 or 14 ounces. So these are a little bit smaller than usually the bag gloves or sparring gloves. How you would know, a couple things about an amateur glove is that one, it'll have this whole piece of protection over top of the Velcro so that this doesn't cut opponent during their actual amateur boxing match. You'll also know, besides the Velcro strap, you'll see a label that has USA Boxing. So if it doesn't have this label on the glove, it should never be used to be able to compete for amateur boxing in the ring for competition. And so basically you'll know, and by that label, if it has it, then you can be able to use it if you go into amateur boxing. And if it doesn't, you need to get a glove that does. And so basically this is an amateur boxing glove. And sometimes amateur boxing gloves will have a little white stripe, or it have a little white surface over top, so that when it makes a connecting blow, it'll make sure that that connecting blow is going to be looked at as a scoring blow. And that's all the gloves I would probably say that boxing offers in the different types. So if you like that, you can rewatch it. Remember, there's about 4 different type of boxing gloves you can use in the gym. You have the fitness, which is also considered to be a training, which is also considered to be a heavy bag glove. Those are all 3 the same thing. You have a sparring glove in the gym. You have lace-up gloves, and then you have amateur boxing gloves, and of course you'll have the professional gloves that are usually 10 ounces and 8 ounces as well. So you have those 2. But don't use those when you're training, hitting the heavy bag oftentimes, unless you have it for some very specific purpose that you're using those smaller gloves for, maybe hitting the pads and just trying to get your hand speed, whatever, with those gloves before you can train with it in real life. But anyway, that's all I got for you today. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hit the like button if you loved it. We also on TikTok too, so y'all can be able to check this information out there. And again, hope you all have a great day. Talk to you later. Peace.